You're looking live from Milford High School, a beautiful evening in late August, which means we cut a ribbon on the 2026 high school football season in the state of Ohio. It's Harrison versus Milford coming up next on ICRC. Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Johnstone alongside Casey Stevens. We've got a good matchup today in terms of these two teams. Harrison coming off a very good season last year, 9-4, made it deep in the state playoffs. Milford, on the other hand, they're trying to figure some things out. Went 1-9 last year. Casey, what's something that you're looking forward to in this one?
I mean, it's a new year, right? Football's underway. You're going to have teams with guys who played last season in their junior year step into that senior season. This is their time to show out. Then you have some guys who may have played JV. This is their time to step up, fill in the guys who left last season, and now show what they got.
Let's take a look at what happened last season between both of these teams. Harrison on the one side, 9-4, plus 159-point differential. They were upper in those offensive categories, nearly 400 yards per game. On the flip side for Milford, the point differential not that great, and returning the ball over nearly 3 times a game.
Yeah, I mean, Milford, the number stands out. Negative 216 points. Look at some of their first games last season against Winthrop. Lost 35-0. Most of the time throughout the season, they kept losing over 35 points or more. Their biggest loss, 63-0 against Anderson.
The biggest gains for both of these teams. The quarterbacks, though, we're taking a look at the first guy on the screen. I mean, look at Harrison. It's Brady Lawn. 62% completion percentage, 22 passing touchdowns, added in 10 on the ground. He's an all-purpose threat.
Yeah, he's a gunslinger, right? He'll throw it down the field. He can lead his wide receiver perfectly. And you mentioned 10 rushing touchdowns. 32 touchdowns came from one guy. Goes to show not everyone in the team can do it, but there's also big holes that will be needed to be filled. You're losing a guy and a running back last year over 1,400 yards.
Have to figure that out on that side with his legs and other people, but on the flip side, it's Bodley, 1,600 passing yards, 14 passing touchdowns. Started off the season really well in the first portion of last year, then kind of dipped off toward the end.
Yeah, 90% of the offense, though, came from Bodley. That's impressive. He can do it with his arm and he can do it with his legs, but sometimes it's the turnovers. We talked about it. He had 13 interceptions to just 14 touchdowns, something that may be big today.
You can see it, you can feel it, the energy is in the air and on the field. We've got a new high school football season to kick off. Coming up next, Harrison Milford on its way on ICRC-TV. Fourteenth all-time meeting between these two teams. Harrison leads the season series, the series overall, 9-4. Milford won the toss. They elect to defer. That means that kicker Noah Egbert will tee this one away. Ben Marcarin and Colton Rehage back deep to return around their own 5-yard line. Casey, energy's up, and we're ready to go.
I mean, this is where the excitement starts right here. The kickoff, a fresh start to a new season.
Here it's 83 degrees, feels like 87. They've been practicing all month through this one, and now the ball is kicked away, and we are underway for the 2026 season. Marcarin has it at the goal line. Taking it out and gets tackled right around the 21-yard line where the Wildcat offense will begin.
And you can just hear the cheers from the fans. This is where the players get the excitement. This is the energy. The fans bring it, and it's almost a packed crowd here tonight.
This nice Milford Stadium seating a lot of people. A lot of red have filled in the stands. On the flip side for Harrison, they've made the trip pretty well. And we'll see the first look at the senior quarterback, Brady Lawn. Completed 62% of his passes, nearly 1,800 passing yards in 25, and 22 touchdowns to 13 interceptions for the Harrison quarterback.
And not just that, he can use his legs, too. 10 rushing touchdowns last season. He's going to have a stellar year if he can start it off right here tonight.
1st and 10 in the gun. Gives it off to the running back, Dennis, around the left side. Makes a man miss. He gets off across the 30-yard line and right up around the 35. Nice run right there by Dennis. Gains 14 on the first down.
And not just that, the block by Kyle Davidson, the wide receiver, taking his cornerback, driving him back, allowing the running back to find a seam and continue to keep going. You see it here, the block there, shedding it off at the perfect time. That extra yardage will set your team up in better placement in this long drive.
That's a very underrated part for receivers, obviously catching the football, but you got to get out there and chuck some guys. Here we are, 1st and 10 again. Little shift over from left to right for 2 guys on the Harrison line. Split receiver set. Long gives it off to Dennis, right side. Dennis able to ride the blocks and get around 6.
I mean, give the credit to the offensive line there, right? Opening a gap, allowing the running back to take a deep breath before he breaks in, and you're just pushing against a strong defensive line. But back-to-back runs, we haven't seen a throw yet, and maybe here with the short yardage situation, you go with the first pass of the season.
This is a new offensive line, too. They kept their center and their right guard in Blunt and Branditz, but an entirely new left side and their big right tackle in John Netherly. 6'6", 280. The big boys out there on the outside. Here's Lawn on the gun. Flips it to Rehage. Rehage runs around the right side and able to dive forward and gets the first down. It looked like there was a tackler right there, but Rehage able to break out of it.
Rehage shows you what he can do with his speed when he has open space. Able to even fight through the first tackle here on the sweep. Gets tripped up, but gets that hand down and gets the first down.
It was Moorhead that tried to make that play as he was falling. It would have been a very nice play to set up that 3rd down, but Harrison with their 2nd first down of the opening drive of the season. Here, receiver split right to the left. Motion man across is Witt. Here's a screen pass. It goes to Davidson. Davidson gets out of one, but he gets chopped down at the 50-yard line. A nice tackle there by Ethan McCann.
You can just continue to see how much pressure is being put on this drive, too, by the offense. No negative plays. That's the positivity that you'll have right away. The energy is being filled in. You're not in your home stadium. You have to have this first drive and throw the first punch.
Not to mention, the Harrison's not going to be in their home stadium for the first 3 weeks of the season. All road games until their first one just a few weeks from now. Here they're in the empty look. 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Here's a motion from Rehage. It's a pop pass to the right. Rehage has blocks. Rehage gets across the 40. Going near the 35-yard line. A nice pickup there for another first down.
And Rehage, just the 2nd time tonight where we've seen the same motion. He's over on the left side, swing him over, a little jet touch pass, get him in open space, and the blocks by the wide receivers, pushing the defensive backs way out and allowing a lot of open space to be filled by the speed.
This Harrison offense getting rolling early so far. This is their first play in Milford territory. Be first down and 10 at the 36. Long gives it off to Dennis. Dennis dancing through. Dennis gets across the 30-yard line. The Eagles stand him up. He still tries to go and gets right around 6 yards.
And Chase, go back to last year. A 34-14 win against Loveland. That game started off a quick one-drive touchdown right away for this team in the Wildcats. If they do it here, they're looking to repeat almost a year ago of how they started last season.
Wash, rinse, and repeat, Casey. That seems to be the thing right now for Harrison. They have kept the ball churning. They are now at the 29-yard line. 2nd down and 3. Receivers split both sides. Running back to the left of Lawn. Gives it inside to Rehage. Rehage has some space and trucks a defender and gets to about the 25-yard line. Will be enough for a first down.
We may as well call this the Rehage show so far, Chase. 3 plays to him, and all it is he has the motion, gets the handoff, and tries to get into space. You see it here, the speed, and he lowers the shoulder, too, trying to get extra yardage.
Here, this Harrison drive has already eclipsed 4 minutes on this opening drive of the season. entering near the red area. We'll have a stoppage in play here. Because we'll have a timeout on the field.
I believe it's the play clock not matching up, and we'll have some time here to adjust. And we mentioned the heat, too. Cramps being in factor potentially tonight. The sun coming straight down onto the field. A little bit of shadow here in the end zone. And this could play some tricks, too. You have the shadow coming in. If a pass play is thrown at this point, chance for the defense to step up and potentially stall this drive.
A lot of fans sunbathing right now in the early portion of the game. Here's Lawn. He'll take it himself around the right side, trying to ride the blockers, and gets up to around the 22-yard line. Picks up around 2.
I mean, you're used to seeing that from last season. He started off the first game last year with only 47 yards on the ground, but later in the season, he picked it up against Beaver Creek, 107 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
Lawn had 7 games last year of 10-plus carries, and in those games, the Wildcats were 5-2. And they use the quarterback in both ways. And again, 22 touchdown passes. One thing to do it through the air, but on the ground with double digits, I mean, doesn't get much better than that. 2nd down and 7 on the doorstep of the red zone. Lawn gives it off to Dennis. Dennis making his way across the 15-yard line. He's going to be very close to that first down marker, but just a little short.
And Chase, it goes to show we haven't seen any deep passes or short medium passes yet. And the big question entering today was who's going to replace Preston Flick from last year. 1,400 yards on the ground and multiple touchdowns. 13 on the ground and 2 in the air. And all we've seen is run plays yet.
Okay, so we might be getting our answer in that regard. 1 and 2, the 1-2 punch. It's 3rd down and short at the 15-yard line. Split receiver set, a tight end over to the right. Lawn gives it off. The run play gets across for a first down to the 13-yard line. It looks like that was Dylan Witt. Excuse me. It was Trey Fett. That's the 3rd running back that's gotten into this game. He had a carry.
We talked about it. You have to have some guys who have rest, too. You're coming off of a long off season. This is the first time. See how many guys you can get the experience in early, especially playing varsity football. You need to see what guy can step up at what moment.
They've used half the quarter here on this drive. It's 1st and 10. 2 tight ends to the right, 3 receivers to the left. Here's Lawn. He'll take the carry. Lawn slips and falls and gets just a couple.
That's the shortest gain all game, Chase. And that's impressive, too. You're seeing, though, the red zone defense stepping up here for Milford, especially when it's inching closer and closer to a potential score. A 2nd and 8, only 2 yards gained. Chance for them to continue to show the pressure.
Here's substitution packages for the Wildcats. They'll go with that same formation again. Trips to the left. 2 tight ends on the right, empty backfield for Lawn. 2nd down and 8. Here's a motion from Dennis. A pop pass to Dennis. Dennis looking through and gets across the 10, just a couple-yard gain down to the 9.
When you have your tight ends over there on that right side and your wide receiver on your left, those are extra blockers. They will open up more gaps, let them try and sliver in and find those extra yardage gains. But a good stop nevertheless, though, for Milford. Only another 2-yard gain. Now a 3rd and long.
Here the field condenses inside the 10. 3rd and 6, ball on the 9. The Milford student section and faithful getting loud. Here they shift Rother and Rehage to the right. Split receiver set. Dennis left hip. Lawn will take it himself. Lawn stumbles. He keeps it going. Did he get enough for the first down? It looks like he's very close. And they will move the sticks for a first down.
Take it yourself, why don't you? Right up the middle. Just a draw for the quarterback. You see it here, too. High snap, but finds a hole, trips on his feet. If he didn't trip there, could have been a touchdown.
Again, the Wildcats certainly imposing their will right now in the run game. Pretty much all they've done outside of a screen pass. Now it's 1st and goal from the 3. Dennis on the left hip of Lawn. High snap. Dennis bouncing to the right. And a nice chop down tackle right there. A nice play by the defender and Barbeau. This drive is just bleeding right now for Harrison as they have taken nearly 9 minutes off the clock. 2nd and goal. Long takes it himself, bouncing around the left side, and he's tackled. There's a flag, though, on the ground. That was Nolan Birch on the tackle, but it looks like there's going to be a holding on the offense that'll move them back 10.
And a sigh of relief there, right? Now you push back the offense that has taken this long drive that started at the 20 on the opposite side of the field. Run play, run play, run play. And we've seen these explosive plays throughout this first drive where it's all these jet sweeps, touch passes, allow your wide receivers to get in open space with blockers. Holding call now will stall it just slightly, but they may rely more on the quarterback run, or we haven't seen any passing yet from the quarterback tonight.
This has been a 66-yard drive. It was 76 before the penalty. It's taken over 9 minutes. Trips to the right. Dennis a little bit off to the right of Lawn, the tight end Rother on the left. In the gun, Lawn, roll out to the right. Scans, eyes down the field. He takes off and runs and splits the gap, gets to around the 8.
Some frustration by one of the wide receivers. Wide open in the back of the corner. No coverage over with the zone defense that was bringing in by Milford. You see the rollout here being pressured, shaken off all the way to the right side of the field, and just has to run out of bounds. But now you force the 3rd and goal, where if you get a stop here, you may just stop the offense and force a field goal.
3rd and goal from the 3, a little bit different from 3rd and goal from the 8. A little bit more space to work for Harrison, but more ground to cover for Milford. It's 3rd and goal from the 8. In the gun is Lawn. And Rehage will call a timeout.
I think that's the right call here. You've had stop after stop after stop, and you're seeing the Milford defense feed off of the energy from the crowd. They're continuing to get loud. They're continuing to give their players what they need, especially with this long drive. And a timeout, time for these guys to sit and rest. Get the water that's needed, especially with a long drive that started way back on the 20. When you have these run plays, your offensive linemen, they're big. They need some time to rest, too.
I know we're comfortable up here in the booth, a little bit of breeze here and there, but man, could just imagine how hot it is down on that field right now, especially with the turf. That adds nearly 10 to 15 degrees of heat.
Right, and Chase, we have to go back and look at the juniors that played last year and now are coming in and are being seniors this year for the Milford defense.
Yep.
That is the big difference here. It's a surprise that Harrison hasn't scored yet. A lot of people thought maybe Harrison was going to come in and wipe the floor, but Milford's defense this offseason, these seniors have stepped up, and they're showing we're in here for the long run.
This could be a tone setter for this game and possibly the season. We know it's just the first drive, but you never know from here. It's 3rd down and goal from the 8. Milford stands get loud. Lawn on the drop back, but a flag is thrown. It'll be a false start.
Second penalty on the offense here tonight, and one was a holding call. That they were almost in the same situation on the 3, pushed back. This time they were on the 5 and pushed back. They haven't even gotten near just a bit of taste of the end zone yet, but Chase, a stall after stall. This is where the rhythm is now being thrown off.
It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 13-yard line. Split receiver set. Dennis to the right of Lawn. Lawn on the 3-step drop. Looks to the end zone and incomplete. Not able to bring that one in was Kyle Davidson.
Kyle Davidson got away from his defender. He went up 10 yards, broke out to the right, but with just limited space between him and the line before, you have to have that one-hand catch and not able to put the other one on it to growl it in.
Well, they're going to roll the dice here early. The new kicker, Michael Wiseman Jr., who is a senior, they're not going to trust him from this range, which will be a 30-yard kick. They'll keep the offense on the field. It's 4th down and goal. It looks as though Milford will call a timeout of their own.
You got to look at the set that came out there, too.
Yep.
You have a lot of those bigger guys out there, a potential run up the middle with your quarterback, but the nose guards and defensive tackles have just crumbled in on them and not allowed anyone to go up. It's a stone wall right there. And overall, neither team has been able to break through.
Casey, it feels like we're talking about how this is like a big time here, but, you know, we'll take a look at the offense from last year. Look at Harrison. I mean, they're scoring nearly 30 points a game. They were very balanced in the passing and running attack. Their run game being the biggest thing, nearly 220 yards a game on the ground. They've shown that off so much, but now you would think they have to go to a passing situation.
Right, and the biggest thing here is 30 points a game. They've taken almost the entire quarter, and they haven't even gotten into the end zone. 2:42 left in the first quarter of play.
What feels like a playoff game atmosphere in just the first 10 minutes of the season is a 4th down and goal from the 13-yard line. Trips to the left, a tight end to the right, Dennis on the left hip of Lawn. Lawn a 3-step drop. He'll look deep for the end zone, throwing it up, and it completes. Big time deflection right there by Chase Whitehouse, the junior defensive back, and Harrison turns it over on downs.
Wow, did you see how high he got up there? Whitehouse tips it just at the right moment. The throw in here. Have the set, the snap. Looking over to that direction. A nice lifted throw, but Whitehouse puts his hand on it and tips it away. And this is what the moments are made for, Chase. Guys will step up at the right time. Milford, a crucial stop here against Harrison.
This place erupted. That was a big-time stop to a drive that lasted 9 minutes and 23 seconds. And now the Milford offense will get the ball at their own 13. They're led by quarterback Jaden Bodley.
And Bodley last season produced 90% of the offense. Through the air and did it with his legs.
A team that threw 30 times a game last year will open up the season in the spread look. They'll throw a screen out here. It's a floating pass, and it's caught. Getting just about a yard there was Caleb Brasington.
You notice the floating angle, too. He doesn't whip it as most quarterbacks that you see do. And that may be the cause to the 13 interceptions that he had to his 14 touchdowns last year.
He completed 58% of his passes, averaged 160 yards per game. They're in a trip set to the left, a receiver split wide to the right. Bodley looks, throws over the middle to no one, incomplete.
Bit of confusion there. I believe the wide receivers were supposed to cut in, but they cut out on that. Bodley tried to lift it over the heads of the linebackers, got it there, and, well, it was in no man's land. It's still an incompletion. You have a deep breath, you don't turn over the ball.
He's going to be going up against a secondary that had 20 interceptions last year, and they bring back 2 guys that had 6 or more. 3rd down and 8 at the 15-yard line. Eagles in the spread. Bodley on the drop back. Steps up in the pocket, trying to make a man miss. Gets out of bounds. He'll be just a few yards shy of the 1st down marker.
Well, while one drive went almost the entire quarter, this drive, about a minute.
That's being generous. But again, Milford goes 3 and out on their offensive drive. They get only 7 yards there. It looks like their punter for the Eagles, that is Camden Barbeau. Standing back to return this one will be Dylan Whitted around his own 45. Trying to shield his face for the sun. Sent up in the air. That one going end over end. Bounces the wrong way. It takes a good bounce for the Wildcats and dies at around the 46 of the Eagles.
Pressure that got in on that punt almost blocked it. 3 different Wildcats in the backfield off the leg, and then you get a lucky bounce that puts you back into the territory where you can start attacking now. But we haven't seen many pass plays. You notice how Harrison likes to rely on the run, and they've shown that tonight. But you can't win a game just by running the ball. You have to be able to do both.
Harrison only attempted 3 passes on that drive. Everything else was just runs, hence the amount of time burned off the clock. Minute 51 to go here in this first quarter of play. Wildcats in the spread look. Lawn in the gun. He'll drop back. He'll throw the screen over to Rother on the far side. And the ball, looked like it fell out, but it wasn't. Gets just about 2 yards.
That was an interesting look, too, Chase. On that play, you had a double screen action. You had one run over on the right side, one on the left side. Most of the defenders there on the left side here, you see it. See right here, the ball then whipped over to the right side where you have an action play and try and work up the field for a few extra yards.
Rother did a good job of switching hands on the football. Looked like it was in his right, but over to his left. In that same look, the spread formation, Dennis, lone setback to Lawn. They'll give it off to Dennis. Dennis trying to dance around, but a nice tackle there by Elijah Marsh Horton. There is a flag, a second flag, and the Milford bench getting very excited about that one. Tempers could be flaring early on.
We've seen a few flags this game, more on the Wildcats side of the game so far. Limited time, though, for Milford to have the ball, just about 30 seconds, compared to almost the entire quarter for Harrison.
The time of possession stats that we would look at are quite lopsided, but again, still a 0-0 ball game, and Milford trying to hold out here on defense, getting everything sorted out here to see what the flag on the field is. Looks like the Wildcats are moving back.
And Chase, for Milford last year, they lost their first game against Winthrop 35-0. They're off to a better start here after a few personal fouls. Moving back the Wildcats, but you set them up in a long situation on second down.
So there was a holding call, but then after the play, there was a dead ball and sportsmanlike conduct that moved the Wildcats back to their own 31-yard line.
Well, this is where they almost started on their first drive, where they got shut out when they got near the red zone. This time, they started their drive in their opponent's side of the field, but now pushed back all the way to their own.
Well, it's second down and a country mile out here. And it looks as though the official will call his own time as they get everything set.
Had to travel 99 feet. Did the math in my head there for you.
Man.
Yeah.
There's Coach Derek Rehage in his 10th season as the Harrison coach. Played football at Miami, Ohio. 8 playoff appearances in 9 seasons with the Wildcats. We are back to play. A motion from his son, Rehage. The pop pass, and he fumbles the football. Bounces right back to him, but it looks as though it's an incomplete pass. It's a pop pass that goes forward. He let go of it, so it's technically an incompletion.
And we've seen that play be successful throughout the night. Just fumbles it quickly, and it's not, luckily a dead ball. There were multiple Milford players around the ball here. You can see the replay, just a toss, can't get his hands on it. And if that was a fumble, man, that one almost could have been, I mean, bad news bears right away.
He technically did not have possession of the football for it to be a catch and a fumble. It's 3rd and 33 from their own 31-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. Lawn in the gun. Lawn on the drop back. Looking, Lawn will launch it down the field, and it's caught at the 10, the 5, the showboat, and the touchdown for Harrison. Unbelievable. It was Ben Marcaron. Wow.
Wow, Chase. Look at the speed that he has on this. The deep ball placed perfectly, and then breaking away from your defender. A little bit of showboat, why don't you? And then you walk it in for the touchdown. A long drive, stalled. Then flag after flag, you're pushed back. It doesn't matter. A chance for a deep ball and the touchdown.
A 69-yard touchdown pass for the Wildcats. Lawn the snapper. That's a high snap. Kick is up and good. That's the new kicker, Wiseman Jr., that makes that one. It's 7-0. Harrison on top of Milford after a big-time explosive play from the Wildcat offense.
During pregame, though, we saw Harrison practice their go balls, too. That was a big importance for both teams. Milford, the go balls looked more like they were floated up there. Now this ball that was zipped over right on target. And you see teams will practice that. They'll normally have their defender right there in front of their wide receiver, read the hips, and get him to bite. That was exactly what happened there for Mark Heron. He got down the field, caught it, and got the touchdown. First touchdown of the season.
Again, after a very long drive for the Wildcats, they're able to get a touchdown pretty quickly on their next drive after a couple penalties and able to get it all back and more. They're teeing it off, Griffin Musgrove. So they have Griffin Musgrove that's doing kickoffs for Harrison. And they have Michael Wiseman Jr. who's doing field goals and point afters. Musgrove will kick it into the air. Dahmer, the return at the 4. Here's Dahmer. He's got an aim. Dahmer makes a man miss, gets down to the 34-yard line. Good return.
Great return there. A good amount of space on the right side. Blocks placed perfectly, but I mean, goes to show the hard, tough defense and special teams guys that will show up for Harrison, ripping off their blocker and getting in for the tackle. That one almost broke into open space. This game could have been tied.
Dahmer had a kick return touchdown last year from 98 yards. It was here in a home game against West Claremont. Your first down and 10. Trip set to the left. Dahmer, the split receiver, to the right. That's Manuel, the running back to the left of Bodley. Fake, throws, and it's caught across the middle of the field up to the 50-yard line. That was Brazington on that one. Gets a first down.
You notice, too, Chase, just those small slant routes, especially with weak coverage off of the wide receiver or tight end. They'll go shallow, and then they may go deep. Just get open space and pick up the first down.
They go the trips left, empty to the left. Here, nice run up the middle. It only gets about 2 yards. A host of Wildcats get in there, and a flag is thrown for the tackle after the play. That'll give the Eagles a little bit more room to work with.
Henry Hickey with the extracurriculars after the play. You can't throw a guy down after the whistle blown.
Again, a 2-yard stop is turned in to well over a 15-yard gain with that personal foul. Just too far after the play.
You put yourself in perfect position, though. You had a good return and a good pass play to get across the 50-yard line. You put yourself in opponent's territory.
Here, winding down to nearly 5 seconds. We'll see if the Eagles try to get this one off, and they won't. That snap was low, but happened right after the clock went down to triple zeros. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Milford making their way down after Harrison with a big-time touchdown. They take the lead 7-0. And we will step away for a break here on ICRC-TV. Harrison up 7-0 over Milford.
To deep left field.
Welcome to another edition of What's Going Down the Dale.
Welcome. You're listening to the Human Resource.
Yeah, well, does he fight?
Welcome back here to Milford, Ohio. First play of the second quarter is a pop pass to Dahmer. Dahmer's got space, and he gets across the 25-yard line, just a few yards shy. The first down marker picks up 8.
When you take half the defense to one side and you open that big of a gap, you may as well continue to run up in open space. Almost put yourself to get the first down, but short yardage here, just a 2nd and 1.
They took a play out of Harrison's playbook right there with the pop pass and that handoff, that counter look. It'll be 2nd down and 1, ball at the 24. They're in the spread look. Bodley on the drop back, throws the screen pass to Manuel, and he's chopped down early right there. That's the leading tackler from last year, David Baldock. 85 tackles last season, 14 of them for a loss.
I mean, call him a ball hawk at this point. He just gets right through his defender. Look at it here. No one's stopping that. Head down, shoulder, and you get the tackle. Send him back a little bit. You lose 5 yards. And now that 2nd and 1 turns to a 3rd and 6.
Move them back 5. 3rd and 6 at the 29. The split receiver to the far side is Dahmer one-on-one. Here's Bodley on the drop back. He's looking, throws the swing. Pass is intercepted! Wow, Mark Herron can do it all! Leaps out, full extension, and stalls the Milford drive.
6 interceptions last year. This time, wow. That one goes on a highlight reel right there for him. Lays out the acrobatic play. Look at it here. Lofted pass to his wide receiver and lay out wide, don't you? You stall the drive. You now get your offense who's been doing it all. They come back out, and in the second quarter, you look to get back on the board.
A bit of history right there for you, Casey. Ben Marquardt now has the program record for career interceptions with his 13th on that spectacular play. A highlight reel play for that one. Again, he caught that touchdown just before the end of the first quarter, gets himself a breather. It's 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. Pop pass to Rehage going around the left side. He's got blockers. Rehage gets out to about the 30-yard line. He's pushed out after about a gain of around 9.
A good block by Kyle Davidson, the wide receiver. Pushed his defender 10 yards back from the line of scrimmage to allow Rehage to pick up more yards on that play. You'll see it here, a good toss play. And right here, that number 9, continues to push, make the extra effort.
And we saw him do that on the first play of the game where he just manhandled his guy on the outside. Here the Wildcats shifting around. They have a bunch set. A trips look to the right, one receiver over to the left. It's a pitch to Dennis. Dennis has blockers. Dennis gets a 1st down and gets up to the 39.
And those outside run plays have worked to success throughout this game for the Wildcats. We've seen just the short motions, the quick toss plays. This time, a nice toss, get him into open space, try and make a move, make the defender miss, or just run over him to get those extra yards.
You know, their pass catchers are very good blockers, as we've mentioned with Kyle Davidson, but we also haven't seen Christian Rother, the tight end, yet, who is also a very good run blocker and a manhandler at that. The Wildcats in a spread look. Now they send Rehage over to make it a trips right formation. Moving Dennis up, that is an empty set. Rehage the motion across. That ball is fumbled. Long gets it, he slides down at about the 29-yard line, losing 9 yards.
Be a holding call too, just be pushed back on it. But they may just take the sack at that point.
And I will just say, it's tough to tell with the yellow flag and the orange flag. The orange flag.
Oh, it was the orange flag.
And sometimes, again, I think if you look at it, college football and the NFL, they have the blue flags out there for the fumble. It's tough to tell sometimes. It really is.
I could be colorblind too. I don't know.
You know what? We're not going to go there.
Not yet.
Cut yourself some slack, Casey. Come on.
Right.
Oh, man. 2nd down and right around 19 yards. Wildcats have a lot more space to work with, but more to go to get the 1st down. Here they have a reverse play here for Rehage. Rehage makes a man miss, but doesn't get much more after that. A gain of none.
And the defensive looks are changing, too. You'll have 3 guys up at the line of scrimmage. You'll have your linebackers then come in later. You'll have a player down on the field.
So we have a Harrison Wildcat on the field, and it was Rehage, the ball carrier there. And Rehage, the 5'11", 185-pound junior. Hope he's okay.
It's been a big production of the offense for the Wildcats tonight, too. Back in the first quarter, 18 yards on the ground, 5 through the air. So when you're producing 23 yards of offense, that one big play, the 69-yard pass, you take that out of proportion, he's your best offensive player out there. Produce it. And if he goes down, we talked about cramps earlier, with it being hot out, get him some water, see if he's okay, and especially it's the start of the season, you're sending the best his way.
Now Rehage limping off the field, getting help from a coach. And wish the best for Rehage at this time. And Rehage 5 carries, he had 1 carry for 5 yards, 2 catches for 18 yards on the pop passes, so he's touched the ball 3 times. Over 20 yards total for him. They've gone to Wyatt Dennis 5 times in the first quarter. It's been a bit of a committee. Both running backs, your quarterback and Long, they found a couple of different ways, and now they are pushed back for another long 3rd down. But remember what happened the last time? A 3rd down was too far for them. It wasn't.
I believe they had extra player on the field. Gonna send a guy off, you know. Maybe a key to success, but
well, they send Fetty off the field, and they put in Birchfield. Spread look for Lawn. It's 3rd down and 19. Lawn will look, throws across the middle. It's caught by Witt. He's close to the 1st down marker. Did he get the 1st down? He's awfully close, and he certainly did. Wow. 2 for 2 on the big-time 3rd down conversions. 1 from 33 yards, another from 19.
Well, you look at the replay here. A good open field catch, and then takes the tackle but rolls over his guy and then reaches for the 1st down. And the referees give him it, so move the ball near the 50-yard line, almost into your opponent's territory.
When Harrison has had the throw, they've had success. Here it's 1st down and 10 at their own 49. Long gives it off to Dennis, and he's wrapped up in the backfield right there. Another big tackle by Marsh Horton, the 6'2 junior.
Worked around the left tackle on that play. A nice swim move to get into the backfield, takes down the runner, and a good tackle for loss. Just really stall a drive where the passing game has been working out for him, but the run game looks like Milford's defensive looks have changed to now stop that more.
Again, you think about time of possession being one thing, but winning the line of scrimmage, certainly something that Harrison is trying to keep their foot on the gas pedal with. They lost a yard there. It's 2nd down and 11. Dennis, right side. He's got blocks. Gets hit. Gets across to the 45 of the Eagles. Picks up 7.
A good tackle by Nolan Birch to come in from the opposite side of the field. He chased it down after he noticed that the ball was going to the right side from the left side, coming in and getting the tackle here. Rips off, dives in. Now you force the 3rd and 4.
Again, Harrison has been very successful on their 3rd downs. They're 4 of 5 in situations like that, 2 of them being over 20-yard gains. 3rd and 4 from the 45. Long quarterback run. He's going to flip it out to Dennis. Dennis will get the 1st down. Dennis will keep things going across the 35, rolls a bit to the 33, and an angry run by Wyatt Dennis, the senior.
I mean, with all that muscle on this guy, he's an elusive bruiser, isn't he? He'll just try and run over guys if he can. Breaks away against 3 tackles. A little flip to him. 1 tackle broken. Here's another one. Spins off of it, and you need 4 guys to take down this guy.
Yeah, that option looked like it gave them trouble right there as they ran to space. No one was going to get them at that point. First down and 10 at the 33. They're in Eagle territory. Last time they were in Eagle territory, they got to a goal-to-go situation and did not score. Long gives it off to Dennis. Dennis pile driving his way through and gets around 5.
What I've noticed, though, too, is those long handoffs.
Another flag thrown on the field. And another flag thrown on the field. It looks like the emotion right now is just getting the most. It's certainly been Harrison so far, but we'll see what's going on who this call's from.
The referees having to talk to Chase Blunt, number 50, and then stopping the bickering in between of the 2 teams. But it's the first game of the season. That's true. Right, Chase? There's going to be a lot on the line here. One team is coming off of a 9-4 record last year in Harrison. Milford, only 1 win on the season. That game almost a year ago today. So they want to try and give their fans what they need, a win, show the promise. You have almost a sold-out crowd all cheering for Milford. The Milford faithful coming out today on Friday night. Beautiful game, too. You have some almost picturesque, weather.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. We will say that. Our view up here is awesome. Here's the call.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. We also have a dead ball, personal foul on the offense. Goes offset, second down.
So personal fouls on both teams. Those will offset. So the play certainly happened. They wiped those out. It's a pickup of around 5. Almost like it just never happened, Casey. It just evaporated of that. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 28-yard line for the Wildcats as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the 2nd quarter. Receivers split wide to the left. Long will pitch it out to Dennis on the short side of the field. Dennis gets around. Gets out of bounds near the 20-yard line, but a flag thrown. It looks like the preliminary looks of a holding call.
It does look like that may be what it results to, and some more jawing down on the field, but some high fives from both sides as they come close together. But, Chase, this has been, I could say, a very brutal game with a player down on the field, too. On Milford's side, will be attended to.
OKC looks like that injured player down there for the Eagles. Again, we're not doctors, but by the looks of it, could be a cramp. Not going to speculate, don't have a medical degree at all, but there'll be a holding on the offense. It'll move Harrison back.
Well, I mean, you are a recent graduate, though, so congratulations there.
Well, I appreciate that, but again, you have more time now that you're in school. If you want to change that to a medical degree as well as broadcasting, you could be the best of both at that.
Well, that would be something, Doctor by night, broadcaster by day. It's like be like Bruce Wayne and Batman almost.
Oh my gosh, you can't see him in the same room, doctor, broadcaster. It's 2nd down and long here. In the gun, Lawn. Drop back. Lawn looking over the middle, and the pass is caught. Wow, nice catch right there by Rother. As that ball was thrown into traffic, but his 6'4", 215-pound frame with the great hands holds up.
Good tackle by Clay Barkmeyer, too. Goes right after in the air, puts him down onto the ground, but holding on to it. I mean, that's what they pay you to do later on in the big leagues, too, and that's a big league catch right there.
Here, Barkmeyer, 6'2", 180-pound senior, did not get any play last year. It certainly makes a big one there. 3rd down and 2 from the 25-yard line. Getting close to the red area. Lawn in the gun. Making a check at the line of scrimmage. Gives it to Dennis. Dennis has extra room. Dennis makes a man miss, gets up to the 15-yard line and corkscrews down to the 14.
Breaks into the second level, too, with him, the first defender he makes miss, and we've seen that consistently from him tonight, too. Continuing to just have these run plays that will wear and tear on a defense throughout the entire game. And those big guys up at the front, they're getting tired, too, so if you continue to put the pressure on them and then your defense comes up and show out, you're not giving a lot of time for the defense to rest.
For a new Harrison offensive line that features an entirely new left side, they've certainly set the tone at the line of scrimmage thus far. Looks as though the Wildcats will use a timeout of their own. The Wildcats with their second long drive of the evening. The first one did not result in a score. The next time they got the football back, pushed so far back, it didn't matter. A touchdown pass over the top for nearly 70 yards.
But you got to give credit where credit's due, right? Milford's defense has showed up this game. They returned 9 juniors, now being seniors too, so you don't have many gaps that you need to fill. So they've had the experience of playing at this level. They know where situations last, and they know how to step up when the moment is there. But we've also seen both teams do it. Harrison, offensively and defensively. Right, you have a long touchdown, you have an interception that then does not allow Milford to even get into the end zone. If that interception didn't happen, that was a completed pass down here on the opposite side of the field. Man, this game could be tied.
For head coach Tom Grippa, his 10th season with the Eagles, 232 wins. He has spent, he's had 3 10-year stints with 3 different programs. Fascinating to say the least. He started at Elder and had another stint at Fairfield as well as LaSalle. He's been around the Cincinnati coaching area for the longest time, trying to get his guys going. Here's Lawn on the drop back. Lawn trying to step up, evading the rush, and he's sacked, brought down. We've said his name a couple times tonight, but Elijah Marsh Horton gets in the backfield.
All right, pressure all on the side, too. 1 up the middle, 2 on the sides, and collapse the pocket. Then who can get there first? There he is. He gets into the backfield, a good way to stop a powerful offense, push them backwards, and a sack, a pivotal change here in momentum.
The amount of negative plays that Harrison have had tonight, there's a few, but also penalties playing a big part in that. But Milford's defense so far has done enough to keep them in this game in the first half. But we'll see if they can hold off here. The first under center look for Harrison tonight as we are under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Long play action. Looks across the middle. It's Rehage, but he drops it. Had a lot of space. The ball was underthrown.
It's the first action for Rehage after he went down earlier. We potentially thought he may have had cramps, and that could be what it would be. But we have mentioned we aren't medical by any means. But his first action, he comes in, and he's still wincing is what it looks like in pain, still favoring his right leg over his left as he comes back into that huddle. So that may be something that we need to look at later on in this game.
Well, KC, a 3rd down and 19. Harrison converted. A 3rd down and 33. They scored a long touchdown. It's 3rd and 17 on the doorstep of the red zone. The Wildcats have been some big gainers tonight. And now it's 3rd down and 17, but hold on a second. We've got a timeout by Milford.
A stall drive, right? You want to not allow the momentum to be on the team. And you've seen it too. Both teams have been shifting back and forth, and it feels like you have that meter when you're playing college football right there in the top right, and some things may be thrown off for each team, but this is impressive to watch for Milford. The fans are here. They're bringing the energy to the game. The student section, that's what high school football is mainly about. Can the students show up to support not just their peers, not just their school, but the community too? And that's what this Milford team has done. They've gotten a lot of the community to come, friends, family, and even on the other side too, a good lookout for Harrison, making the trip over, cheering on their team, their players, and then overall, we get a great game, right? You get to see some really top talent play, and overall, Milford, they're showing out tonight. They're showing, hey, Last season, that wasn't our season. This season, let's play one of the best teams that we will face all season long, and let's show them what we can do.
And Milford, usually a team that is pretty well up there in terms of making playoffs, and they even had an undefeated season just about 5 or 6 years ago. 3rd down and 17. Trips to the left, tight end to the right. Lawn in the gun. 3-step drop. Lawn trying to evade the rush, and he's taken down again. Guess who? Elijah Marsh Horton. Deja vu for number 5.
Oh, yeah. This is where you can feel it, Chase. High school football is back in Ohio. This is the excitement. Guys are going to show out, and they're going to show you what they can do. Back-to-back sacks. Plays that result in negative for an offense, but positive for a defense.
Again, Marsh Horton last year, he had just 15 tackles on the season. He's about halfway there tonight.
Yeah, that shows you the impressiveness, right? Shows you the small sample size that you can get out of a guy and what that can turn into when you have a rest and then an off season and then the biggest day. The season opener, the home opener, this is where everything comes together for a player.
This is the time to put on and show out for the fans to say, hey, here's what's new. I'm here in the fold. Look at this, though. There are 5 linebackers that they've going to be rotating at least. All of them juniors. They all got playing time last year as sophomores. They lost their 5 leading tacklers from a year ago, including the ECC leader in tackles, Jake Dixon, now going to Ohio Dominican. If you look at this, do not blink twice. They're going for it on 4th and 28. They're in no man's land right now, it looks like. Hands off to Rehage. Rehage might throw the football. He's going to launch it long down the field. Too far, incomplete. Some contact there on the back end, but nothing called. And good starting field position for Milford.
Chase Whitehouse, the second time he's tipped a touchdown tonight. One on the opposite side of the field. That one hand. This time he had to use 2, pushed it out of bounds, didn't want to risk even trying to tip it up or anything. He's made some high critical plays here tonight.
Whitehouse, a former quarterback, the backup quarterback last year, really taking his role as a defender on the outside. He's made some 2 big plays, both on 4th and goals in the end zone, like you mentioned, Casey. The Eagles offense trying to get something started. It's a trips left, receiver out to the right. We'll have a whistle blow. It's a false start.
Chase, I want to look back at that defense, though, for Milford. Those sacks that came in, guess what side they came on? The left side. And we've talked about a new offensive line. They're going to have struggles early. When you replace 3 new guys and put in new guys who haven't played much, they aren't going to be used to the speed and the physical play.
Well, it's certainly given the Eagles offense a lot of rest tonight. We'll see what they can come out here in the chamber. Here's Bodley, looks across, and almost intercepted there. A couple of Wildcats in the area. That one was tipped off the hands. Incomplete.
1 interception already tonight. A very impressive highlight reel play. Overall, though, for Ben Markman, he had that diving effort just laid out for it to get the first interception of the year that now solidified himself in first place in school history.
And that was a drive where the Eagles were really moving down the field and had some flow on offense. They're in a spread look here. Going to be a screen pass to Dahmer. Dahmer trying to cut back across the middle, but makes his way out to around the 31-yard line, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And then you also notice losing his helmet on that, Ben Markman. So he's going to have to come out for a play. Or now it's a 3rd down. Guy who's been critical in 3rd downs all game long. Granted, Milford hasn't seen many. But with one of the best defenders out, chance for them to potentially push the ball downfield.
3rd down and 11. A roll out to the left for Bodley. Bodley trying to step up. Gets around to the right side. Throws it a little bit too high and too far. There was a lot of green grass there, incomplete.
He made a collision happen. And it felt like an LA traffic jam there. You're rolling on one side, you make some crashes happen, and you roll out to the other, and you try and get it over. But sometimes you can't always land the plane. Just overthrows it. And now you have to put your punt team out there, kick it over with a minute 34 left to play here in the first half. Chase, Wildcats, only one touchdown, but we have seen the explosive plays.
This was a scenario that the Eagles offense wanted to have a chance. Their defense has certainly given them that. The offense so far, 2 3-and-outs and an interception. They're going to punt this one away. Again, that's Barbo. It's a rolling snap. He'll send it away. High end over end to Witt. Witt will fair catch this one. We'll mark that around the 34. Just a little flag is on the play.
I believe when you can't catch a fair catch, you can't make any effort to move after. And while he caught it with a runner coming straight down onto him, he moved away thinking he may have gotten a hit if he stayed in one spot. And that will be, I believe, the decision that the referees may come and tell us here.
Let's see what it is.
5-yard penalty in first down.
I believe they may just have picked up the flag.
Very confused on that, and it's hard to tell. They are moving the ball back. Okay, so that was a good look. Good look from there.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah. I got one of those every once in a while. Yeah.
Again, I know it's everyone's trying to shake off the
Right?
preseason rust.
You got to get it off every once in a while.
100%.
When a flag's thrown, you got to give your best idea on what it could be.
Exactly.
Right?
Prognostication from that,
Yeah.
Dr. Casey. You're just under 90 seconds here to go in this first half of play. Ball's at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Screen pass out and is caught for Davidson. Davidson breaks a couple of tackles. He gets across the 45-yard line up to the 47, picks up 18.
Chase, this is where the explosive plays matter, too. You need to pick up those first downs, get out of bounds, do a minute 20 left to play. And they've already used a timeout earlier in the second quarter, so you have one less timeout than where you started the first half with. You have one left, and the clock will continue to tip down.
Milford gets the ball to start the second half. Empty look, 3 to the right, 2 to the left, Lawn in the gun. Lawn will throw the screen pass to the running back, and it's caught around the right side. Dennis off to the races, to the 20, the 10, walk-in touchdown. Wyatt Dennis had 4 touchdowns last year on the ground, and he gets a receiving touchdown there from Long.
Wow, Chase. The speed on Dennis here. Look at this pass. Just breaking away to perfectly placed pass and then going right on the edge. And then we've seen a little bit of showboating here and there by the Wildcats saying, hey, you can't stop me all the time, and let me show you what speed I can have.
An absolute gut punch right there for Milford. It will give them a chance to have the football with 55 seconds. But then again, you don't want to give up 6. Here, a quick substitution on the field. Harrison looking for the point after attempt. Snap, hold, kick is up. A short kick, that is, but it's true through the uprights. Well,
55 seconds, though, Chase, right? We got to talk about it. You got 55 seconds to go down. And look, remember, Milford, they deferred. They will receive the ball in the second half to start, so you can go 2 for 1.
this would be a big opportunity and a big time for the Eagles offense to get going, which certainly has not been the case. You know, we'll get our first half stats going into the second half, but the time of possession has just been heavily in favor, the lopsided one for Harrison. In the first quarter, Milford had the ball for just 95 seconds. Harrison, 10 minutes, over 10 minutes at that. And Casey, I think the big thing so far has been the big plays. Again, a big-time touchdown bomb a swing pass like that with yards after catch.
And the explosive plays, right? Anything over 20 yards. You have a long pass, 69 yards. And then a nice little screen pass action there. You get your blockers in front and then take it up into the second level, breakaway touchdown.
Your Musgrove will be the one to kick this away from the 40-yard line. They have been known to kick some onside kicks before, and they will try to pooch kick this one at around the 30, trying to make a way up to the 35. Pretty good field position for the Eagles. We'll see if their offense can do anything with it.
Beck Williams did his job there, right? You make sure you hold on to the ball before you get laid out, and then gets right down to the ground. Save some time, too. Only took 5 seconds off the clock. And those high kicks, you allow your defense to get in, and then you can get your receiver right down to the ground.
If the Eagles wasting no time to get set up, they're in a trips right look, a receiver to the left, and Barbo. Manuel, the running back, to the right of Bodley. Bodley on the drop back, looks over the middle, and it's caught very short. Picks up just about 3. That was Brazington on the catch. Neither team has a timeout. Excuse me, Milford has one timeout, but the Eagles do not. So the clock continues to run. 2nd down and 7. Bodley throws. Contested catch made. That's by Dahmer. So they move up just a little bit, down to 16 seconds, and the clock is ticking. Trying to get set up. We're down to 10 seconds. Bodley in the gun. And it looks like Harrison will call a timeout, interestingly enough.
I would assume that you just drop everyone in coverage on here, or for Milford, you take a knee, you go into halftime, you make your adjustments, and you see what things need to be changed. We've already seen earlier, right here on the track right in front of us, some of the players sitting right in front to watch some film, things that they can adjust, things that they need to do. But overall, Chase, it's a 14-0 game, but Milford's defense has stood out today. We've seen some explosive plays overall from Elijah Marsh-Horton, 2 sacks. And both of them coming off of the left side against a brand new offensive line in the Wildcats.
We'll see how the Eagles play this one. Barbo, the receiver, down to the left. Dahmer, Brazington to the right. Bodley will step up. He's going to run, take off. He's trying to get to the sideline. Does he have enough time? They're going to try to say 1 second. We'll see what the officials have on there. The clock ran down to 000, so this is going to be a very interesting look, as if he had 1 second left on the clock.
One side in the Wildcats are looking to wanting to go in for halftime. Milford's offense.
And it looks as though that's going to be halftime. Did not get out of bounds in time. Gonna try to set one up for a possible Hail Mary, but unable to do so. Milford blanked in the first half. Harrison leads it 14-0. Opportunities left on the field for the Eagles, but another half of play comes. The big plays being the big thing in this first game of the season. And we will come back here for the start of the second half on the other side. Harrison up 14-0 over Milford in the first half.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we are the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
Hi. I'm your retirement fear. But don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. Here, this is pretirement.org.
Retirement savings options? Potential tax breaks.
Move.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
You got this.
Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment. Especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Love protects.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment. Especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, unprecedented storms have hit the Cincinnati area and has resulted in a lightning delay here from Milford, Ohio. It's 14-0, Harrison leading Milford coming into the second half. When that second half will be, we don't know. But we know Chase Younts Casey Stevens, that first half, it featured a lot of Harrison. They dominated the time of possession, nearly 20 minutes holding the football, just compared to Milford having it for barely even 5 minutes.
All right, go back to that first quarter, Chase. 10 minutes held possession compared to just 95 seconds. Talked about earlier in the second quarter, just time of possession. Which team will have the chance to run down the clock, have those long drives, open up the field of play, and then wear down the defense. You get those big guys slowed down, you open up the gaps, you get the run plays more, you gain more yards, and that's the big turning factor in this game.
We saw the run game going for Harrison to start, but then we look at the passing game from Brady Lawn. 11 of 15, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice, but then again, the man's invincible back there throwing for that many yards in the first half. He was spectacular.
209 yards in the first half. He's on pace to have over 400. I mean, it's impressive, nevertheless, to have a guy who can throw that many yards, but it would also be a season high more than he had last season, too. His season high last season surpassing 300. This season, he's already at 200, man. He's on pace to have a phenomenal game.
And it started off right there with, looking at your running back, and Wyatt Dennis was getting the things going. Again, Markarian with the touchdown reception. He can do it all, though, offensively having the big 69-yard explosion. And then the kickoff return here from Dahmer tried to get Milford out and going. They had a pretty good drive going. They were, moving their way along. Penalties were the big story for Harrison in the first half. And again, Casey, it's just been a very odd game, to say the least. Obviously now throwing this lightning delay. But again, Harrison's penalties have put Milford in this game, but they just haven't capitalized yet.
When you have 7 penalties for one team, it just in the first half, 70 yards, you're pushed back. Compared to 1 for Milford, only pushed back 5 yards. And then a few offsets here and there, so those kind of cancel out. But you then look at, all right, what has my defense done? We've talked about the 2 sacks overall for Marsh Horton. He has 4 tackles. He had a very limited time playing last year. Now he's stepped into a role. He's been attacking just a new offensive line, guys who haven't had this experience yet. He's showing what he can do. There's a lot of promise in a guy who's now going to show up later on in the season. This is a first taste of high school football here. It's the home opener, season opener too, right? He's got multiple games down the line to show everyone what he can do. And 2 sacks just in the first half, he's going to be pretty much a wrecking ball the rest of this game.
The defense has been good. They gave up 38 points per game last season, so they've held their own. It's very interesting to see what they can do on offense when this game starts. There's really no telling. It's been out in the open, all the questions being asked, when will this game be played? We're going to find out more on the other side as we get on going. Chase Shantz, Casey Stevens will send it to break, and it's Harrison over top of Milford 14-0. We'll see if we have any more updates coming up on ICRC-TV.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Back here at Milford, it's 14-0. Harrison at halftime, and a weather delay at that. And we're just waiting for this rain and lightning to get out of the area. The rain looks like it might have stopped, but again, we're not weathermen. We're not doctors. We're not any of that stuff. Chase Shantz, Casey Stevens, back inside the booth here at Milford. A lot of scores around the area that are going on outside of the ECC. We would pull up Harrison stuff, but the SWOC has folded. So the next best thing, looking at what Milford's got going on inside their conference.
Right, you got to look at where everyone lines up. Yeah. And Milford tonight, they've shined. So they've put themselves potentially with this game. They're down 14-0, but you have one of the toughest conferences to play in, right? You have some of the toughest conference, especially when it comes to Anderson, one of the teams that's surprising everyone right now, losing to Trinity.
Yeah, they are down 45-13 against Louisville Trinity currently. Get some more score updates going from there. We have a whole slate of them right here. Trinity up 52-13 now, so that one's been updated. Up 39 over Anderson, who continually goes to the state Final Four and finals and everything else, and they are currently losing by 39 points. Looking at some more games, I mean, it's interesting to see because, again, you don't know what week one will present. It's a new year. It's a new theme. And, again, it's so interesting to look at because you're going to look at it and your eyes are going to pop and be like, whoa, did that just happen? It's crazy.
All right, and I think the biggest surprise is Anderson coming in as one of the top-ranked teams in the state of Ohio, too, and them losing to Trinity. Well, it's an out-of-conference game. Right, Trinity being one of the top teams in the state of Kentucky. It's a big rivalry with Trinity playing a lot of other teams locally or even just nationally, too. They're one of the top-ranked teams nationally. So, while it does look a little shocking that the Anderson is losing, they're a powerhouse in their own state, rightfully so.
Now, Winton Woods and Springfield, they were supposed to play tonight, but there were some weather delays that happened, and it moved the game to tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m., still happening in Springfield, Ohio. Winton Woods and Springfield have played a couple of times to start their seasons off. Springfield had a great run for a couple of years where they made the state Final Four for 5 years in a row. And we'll take a look at Lebanon and Northmont. Lebanon was up 24-10 in the third quarter over Northmont, a former GWAT conference battle. Now an out-of-conference showdown. Lebanon up 2 scores in that one.
And right, you got to get ahead early. Yep. And it's the first week. Anything you do to put yourself successfully in the first week, you ride that the rest of the way. And good outing so far. You have 1 quarter left. Continue to get those touchdowns. Have guys who can obviously get the experience. And then you really just need momentum throughout the rest of the week.
And it looks like seeing some fans walking back into the stands, so that's very interesting. We'll keep everyone updated on that, hearing some more noise around. We've got some more scores here. St. X and Lakota West up 14-7 at halftime. West, they've been very good the last few years. St. X made it pretty deep into the playoffs. Again, this is a big-time showdown. Yesterday, we obviously saw Princeton and Moeller play at Paycor Stadium, but this is the other big game that's going on in the area. West up 7 at the half.
All right, and just when you say that, we got some football. We got a ruckus happening here in Milford. We got the teams coming out to play.
Well, how about that?
We got a long-awaited rest, but we got to turn it back. St. X, that's a team to watch out for, right? 100%. Only down a touchdown. Only 7 scores. The game that we're here tonight in Milford, it's a 2-score game, but we have an entire other half to play.
I don't think you guys want to keep seeing us. There are football players out on the field right now, and it looks like they're getting ready to warm up. We will take a break here on ICRC-TV. There's other scores. We can update you guys on that stuff here going forward, but Harrison up 14-0 at halftime. But guess what? We could be playing some football here pretty shortly. The players making their way back onto the field. Showtime could be on its way for its second act. Coming up next on ICRC-TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says,
Dr. Frankenstein said back in 1931, it's alive! It's alive! We're back! The stadium is filled again with the fans and the players on the field, and we're just a couple minutes away from the start of the second half. Chase Yance, Casey Stevens back at it again. It was a long halftime. It almost felt like a Super Bowl-esque halftime in terms of how long it has been. I think the first half was shorter than the halftime. It's crazy to think, Casey, isn't it?
It is, and I mean, the only way to awake Frankenstein was with some lightning, and we got some here. It delayed us just slightly, but I mean, it gives the teams time to rest. And instead, at halftime, it was hot out. Some players were getting cramps. Gave the guys who were out there for a long time. Look at the time of possession between these two teams. Harrison held onto the ball for 19 minutes between the first half compared to just 4 minutes for Milford. You're having your defense out there for a long period of time, and you're not giving them much time to rest.
Again, 19 minutes, 25 seconds of possession compared to Milford just having it for 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Penalties being a big thing, though. Harrison's given up 70 yards on 7 penalties tonight, which has helped Milford out. But other than that, Milford hasn't been able to help themselves on the total yards portion. Just ran 14 plays for only 47 yards. Harrison nearly 300 total yards themselves.
Yeah. And Chase, 14 plays, but 14 points scored.
Yeah.
All right, overall, and that's the big thing there is your offense just hasn't been clicking. Your defense, on the other hand, well, they've had these long drives that they've had to stay out there for. They're giving their offense a chance to take a deep breath, try and find a rhythm. And now you've had an extended period of time. You're getting ready. You're receiving that second half kickoff here in Milford, a chance for the Eagles to fly back into this one.
Well, Casey, been a minute, but we're back at it again. The kicker, that would be Musgrove, will be the one to tee this one away. And standing back to return, the freshman Brody Selhorst and the star receiver Joey Dahmer back at around the 2-yard line. Musgrove will kick this one away. It's a short kick in the air, trying to fair catch it at the 39-yard line. And that will be good starting field position for the Eagles.
I mean, a bit of a surprise there, right? You come out, a potential onside high sky kick, and luckily Milford gets under it, takes the knee, and they'll start about 20 yards better to where they potentially could have started.
Here after the long break, the Eagles will have it 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. They'll go trips to the right, and receiver in Barbo split wide to the left. Here they give it off to the running back, Manuel. Manuel will get across the 40 for 2 yards.
So a long extended break, and the first play call here is a run. You can't go to anything that hasn't not worked yet, and the run, it's hard to stop.
That was their 15th play of the game and just their 4th run. At halftime, 3 carries for 15 yards. Now they're in a split receiver look. Here's Bodley dropping back, throws over the middle. It's caught by Dahmer. Dahmer elusive across the 50-yard line into Wildcats territory and picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, and a big hit, though, by Baker. Laying the shoulder in to take him down. He got very excited and animated after that. You see the replay here, breaking off of 1 tackle and then coming in from behind to lay down some lumber.
Eagles move quick. Bodley on the drop back. He's got the one-on-one for Dahmer, looking deep down the field, and it's intercepted. Wow! That's 2 picks tonight for the big-time defender, Mark Karen. Again, the Northern Illinois commit skies up top and gets his 2nd interception of the season.
So, practicing with those deep balls in pregame, a lot of air on those. Sometimes when you throw a lot of air, you have the chance to underthrow your wide receiver, give the defender a chance to make a turn and make a play for the ball, and that's twice now. McCarron's grabbed it. He's continuing to move up, and it's making harder to reach that first place spot. He's now separating himself from everyone else.
Here last year with Bodley, his first 3 games were 6 touchdowns to 3 picks. Last 7 games, 8 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He has 2 thrown tonight. Here the run by Dennis gets up across the 15-yard line, picks up a few.
Chase, a good chance, though, for the defense as, well, they were out there on the field in the first half a long time. Yeah. They had a chance to take some time to get some water, rest for a second. The sun's nowhere in sight now.
That's
completely
true.
set, so it's now just playing under the Friday lights.
It'll be on a 2nd down and 6 from their own 16. Tight end and a back over to the right. Split receivers. Here's Dennis. Carry around the left side. Good blocks on the left side. Dennis trying to cut back in. He gets a 1st down across the 25-yard line. Picks up nearly 10.
And you mentioned the good blocks, too. If you're just able, those delayed handoffs, too. Holding on to the ball and then getting the defense to look at the eyes of the quarterback right before you hand it off. A jump cut to the opposite side. A lot more space on the left side of the field.
Here, Harrison have done a good job tonight 14th first down of the evening, compared to Milford's just 4. Here, motion from Rehage. Dennis has it and gets barely anything on that one.
You got to keep your eyes on Rehage, though. He was the main focal point back in the first half. The first quarter, a lot of slips, handoffs to him, just flip passes, and he got multiple yards on him. And then you now have Dennis, who's been kind of stepping into that spotlight here in the second half so far, and later back half of the second quarter, and kind of making the defense play some tricks on them, and they have to adjust to who do I need to really look for.
And Rehage, coming back from an injury in the first half, seems to be okay, something that he suffered late in the second quarter. Here's a pop pass for Rehage. He's got blocks, trying to cut back inside, makes a man miss, trying to cut across the field, gets across the 35-yard line, and a first down for the junior.
I mean, it's hard to stop this Harrison team. They continue to just push and push and push, coming off of a long break, but every big play, you can see the excitement on their players. Look at this jump cut, and then just turning it up, trying to get to the second level. Helmet comes off, and then a celebration to cap it off.
Looking at Rehage, it looks like his right leg there, where he's got a little bit of tape or a sleeve right underneath his knee, which looked to be the injury there. So moving pretty good so far in this second half. Here's that motion from him. Lawn will pull it. He'll throw over the middle. It's caught by the tight end, Rother. Rother stays up. He's rumbling and stumbling across the 20-yard line and down to nearly the 10-yard line. This guy cannot be tackled. He's tall, he's furious, and he can slide down the field. I can't even talk right now. Wow, what a play.
Man, let the big boy go. Look at this. Just a lot of time in the pocket, breaking 2 tackles, staying up, no need to catch the fall. And then 3 Eagles try and soar in to take him down, but he puts his team right into the red zone.
It'll be goal-to-go situation right at the 10-yard line. Lawn in the gun with Dennis to the left of him. Motion from Rehage. It's a pop pass forward. Rehage trying to find his blockers, gets inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line, make that the 4.
We have seen back in the first half the Wildcats get into the situation, but penalties is where they suffered. Seven penalties, and 3 of those came in the red zone prior to their drives.
Yeah, the first time since they've been in the red zone, again, since that first drive, they did not score in that opportunity, but now they are inside the 5, down at the 4. Split receiver look. 2 tight ends to the right. That's a wing and Rehage. Play clock down to 7. Lawn in the gun. Gets the snap. Gives it off to Dennis. Dennis trying to push his way. He's awfully close. And just inside the 1-yard line, about a half-yard shy.
Inches away from breaking this one open, too. 14 points is manageable, but if you make it 21, and you got to crawl your way back into this game, you don't allow a score here.
Here the Milford crowd and student section getting loud here on 3rd down and short. Lawn's going to get under center, no one behind him. The quarterback sneak is just enough for the push. Touchdown, Harrison. Brady Lawn, his first rushing touchdown of the season for the big guy.
10 rushing touchdowns last year. And he gets his first one here. We've seen him do it with the arm twice tonight. 200-plus yards in the first half and 2 touchdowns. Now he adds a rushing touchdown to his total.
What a spectacular performance by Lawn, as he'll be the holder on this one. He's held both of the point after attempts. The Weiserman. Snap is high. Here's the hold. The kick is up and good. Harrison up 21-0 with 6:38 to go here in the 3rd quarter, thanks to a takeaway on the other end. Milford tried to push down the field. They got bit, and Harrison made them pay for it.
Long break, no problem, right? You have over an hour to prepare. Get that script ready for the second half. Have the coaches come together, see what adjustments they need to make. But, I mean, overall, it's just been a defensive game for Harrison. They've been able to get the takeaways they're needed. We talked about the turnover battle to start this game. Touchdown to 2 interceptions is what coming into the day that Milford was looked at. That was the scouting report from last year, and no touchdowns, but multiple just misreads, miscues on the offensive side, things that they can fix a few quarters of play left.
And that's your player of the game right there currently, Ben Markarian. 3 receptions, he scored a touchdown, 2 interceptions tonight. He's done it on both sides of the ball. And again, they went best on best there with Dahmer, the receiver, against Markarian, the DB. Here's a short kick. It'll be fielded around the 25-yard line. A block around the edge, gets up to the 35-yard line. That's Bryce Melgard, who gives the Eagles, again, good starting field position.
And they had good starting field position in their first drive, just the turnover to set them back. And you're in the situation before, you're playing a team that you haven't seen many times. This is just marking the 14th meeting between the two, a 9-4 record overall. Harrison holding on to the lead over Milford, and you don't want to give a team their 10th win overall.
We'll have to start here. It's a 1st down and 10. Hand off to Dahmer. Dahmer on the short side of the field pretty much has nowhere to go. Stop for no gain.
You see overall, Chase, that the Wildcats defense, they've been able to read where the ball is. Yep. There's not much trickery that's happening in the backfield, and they did make a few changes, seeing what guys are able to move in the backfield. We've seen a lot of motions from the Wildcats in their offensive sets. Now, can Milford do it?
It's certainly a fresh defense, we'll say, for Harrison. Has not been on the field for more than 20 plays till about now. Bodley looking over the middle, and that one is just short. Incomplete pass. That was intended for Andrew Lau, the tight end.
Went through one receiver's hands and almost ended in the others, but ultimately hit the ground. You can see the play here unfold, and I mean, chance to get more yards if one receiver almost got it, but it was also a check down pass. You don't see it often. I mean, maybe that was a drawn up play.
3rd down, they sent some pressure. Bodley looking to try to step up in the pocket, and he's brought down. It's technically a gain. That was Henry Hickey, the defensive tackle, able to make the play. Technically a gain of 2. And it looks like the Eagles are going to send out the punt team.
And Hickey earlier in this game had an unsportsmanlike contact flag on him, and now he's able to get in the backfield to force a lot of pressure. And we've seen some 3-man rush, now adding in that linebacker to come in to force some more pressure, and you get some more speed too. You lose coverage, but it doesn't matter.
Here, Barbo will be the one to kick this away. Dylan Witt standing right around his own 25-yard line. The snap, the kick is almost blocked. It's pushed over to the right. Favorable bounce for the Eagles, rolling toward the Wildcats' sideline, and will die down right around the 29-yard line.
Seen a lot of snaps today just be a little high. Not many of them have been direct, and you'll see that though with a lot of long snappers. Sometimes when you get set in your position, you're ready to just float it there, but then you also don't know how are my blockers lined up. Are they able to get to their position? And that one almost a fingertip away from being blocked.
Here, 5:24 to go here. Harrison up 21-0. It has been everything but normal tonight with everything that has surrounded this game. Very odd first quarter, big plays at the end of the first quarter and in the second quarter. And the defense of the Wildcats stepping up here in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats looking to score on their 3rd straight drive. Handoff to Dennis. Pick up around 4, gets to the 33.
Give the credit to the offensive line this game, too. They're giving their quarterback time. They're giving their running back angles that he's able to jump cut into. And you see it here just shifting over to your tight end. Your wide receivers are able to block and throw around the defenders. Just allows you to get more yards and push down the field. That's where we've seen these long drives.
Dennis in that first half had 129 total yards of offense, 74 of those on the ground. A big-time touchdown reception from 55 yards out. Been a big key on this offense. Empty set here for Lawn and the Wildcats, but a flag is thrown. It'll be an encroachment on Milford.
Well, not many penalties have been on Milford tonight, and that's just marking their second compared to the 7 that Harrison has. And you make it now, it was a 2nd and 6 to now be a 2nd and 1, just more manageable. And this is where you potentially can take a deep shot, knowing that a 3rd and manageable is right there if you can't complete this pass.
Well, they'll walk out the trips right look. And they'll motion Rother across. Drop back from Lawn. Lawn will step over to his left, get out of the pocket, eyes down the field, throws it. And that ball is incomplete, out of the hands of Kyle Davidson.
And then you have all your wide receivers go right down the field, Chase. The entire right side, everyone was running a go route. The left side, you had a comeback route, and that was what the go-to look was here on that play. See here, pressure coming in from the linebackers, but rolling out and just having that composure as a quarterback to try and complete a pass.
Lawn's been under some pressure tonight. He's also had some time to throw and make some big plays, only needing a yard here on 3rd down and 1. Dennis, the running back, next to Lawn on the left hip. And it looks as though a miscommunication there, a false start on the Wildcats.
Now you get pushed back here. So the question is, if you were going back to the 2nd and 1 play, you just ran it right up the middle, knowing your offensive line on that right side is more of your veteran leadership guys. They've been in this situation before. Just ride the wave and go behind them, but now you're pushed back 5 yards. So it's like that last play just didn't even happen.
And Casey, I think we're in the trends business, because what has happened every time Harrison has been pushed back due to penalties? They've capitalized. We'll see here on 3rd down and 6. They have a more of a spread look, a trips to the right look. Dennis split wide. Here's a screen pass for Davidson. Davidson trying to cut back across. A lot of Eagles and a nice play from behind right there. That's the big fella making a play, Micaiah Clark. First time we've called his name tonight, and he's able to make a stop in the backfield.
Yeah, the big fella weighing at 250. Tracks down the wide receiver, and he's trying to say, come here. Takes him right down.
It looks like this will be the first time that Harrison sends out the punt unit the entire night. This is a team that has gone for it on 4th and 13 and other situations like that. 4th and 28 to be notable as well, a shot to the end zone. But obviously you can't rule anything out in this scenario if you're the Eagles trying to defend the Wildcats. Here, a flag is thrown. We'll see what the call is. Going to delay a game, moving back 5 yards to the 21.
I forgot how Davidson not listed as a punter. A wide receiver, defensive back, and we've seen him in that position here tonight for the Wildcats, but a chance to, you could say, show off the leg if there is, but we've seen trickery all throughout the special teams for the Wildcats tonight.
Looks like the Eagles declined. Davidson will kick this one away. A spiraling kick, a really good punt that is. That one's muffed. Oh boy. Milford able to get after it, but loses right around 10 to 15 yards of the initial spot. Trying to get after that one was Melgard, the punt returner. Also one of the safeties for the Eagles, which they dropped back in that punt return scenario.
Melgard, it's a spinning kick. Sometimes you'll see the rugby players do this too, and that's where they translate into the NFL, where you get these rugby guys who can kick the ball different angles, and it obviously when it hits the hands, it will take a weird bounce, and that's what happens there. So a good way. Maybe there is some rugby that's being watched, and that could have happened in the halftime that was extended.
Had all the time in the world to check in what's going on in the Australian leagues and all, but here's the handoff. Going up the middle for a few yards was Tim Worsham, the sophomore running back.
A powerful run, too. There, right when he got the ball placed into his hands, he went head down and ran right behind the big guys on the line to try and pick up a few yards.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Harrison up 21-0 over Milford. Eagles trying to get the play from the sideline. They're in the trips left look with the receiver split wide to the right. Here's Bodley on the drop back. 4-man rush, throws, and that one is low and the ground incomplete. That ball intended for Barbo, but that was almost the first interception of the year for Jack Denier, who had 8 last season.
Led the team with 8, and I mean, he's trying to get up there too. It could have been the 3rd interception thrown tonight. Should have been very dangerous, especially with how close it would have set up the offense for the Wildcats.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Roll out to the left. Bodley stepping up to his right. A lot of space. A flag is thrown. He gets a 1st down. He slides down. We'll see what that laundry is on the field. You would assume more than likely a holding penalty, but we'll see our official call. There will be a holding on Milford.
Holding on the offense, number 70. 10 yards, 3rd down.
Another thing to note at the moment is that receiver Joey Dahmer is not on the field. He's running up to the sideline now, but will stay out on this 3rd down and 17. He was getting checked at in the black medical tent. Harrison shows pressure. It's a quarterback draw for Bodley. Bodley just launches himself forward across the 20-yard line, back to the original line of scrimmage. And it'll bring up 4th down and long.
You didn't want to be that close to your end zone, knowing that the pressure that's been on the special teams tonight. Don't set them that up close for a potential snap over the head into the end zone, or even rolling out of the end zone and going back behind. And now give your chance for your punter to take a few steps back, get ready to kick this one, and get the defense back out there.
It's lined up 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That one's a low one. He's able to get it off into the air, crossing the 50-yard line. Witt has it around the 43. He gets across the 50-yard line, bouncing to the left side. Gets across the 40-yard line of Milford, pushed out of bounds by a couple of Eagles.
Jeez, that could have been scary. Yeah, man. A lot of space. Start on one side of the field, work your way to the other, and get yourself to the sideline, push down to bounds.
Like you've mentioned, Casey, they've been close. They got 3 guys back there on that one, but the entire night, the operation has just been a little bit too close for comfort on the punting side for Milford. Bring up a new set of downs for Harrison. Bring their offense back out for the 3rd time this quarter. Be 1st down and 10. So Rehage in the slot on the right. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Long, the 5-step drop. Throws over the middle. It's caught by Rother. Rother going across the 30-yard line. Gets low to the 28.
He's been a hard guy to take down tonight. We saw him make an athletic play back in the first half. Up in the air, legs taken right out from under him. Holds on to the ball, then breaking away and getting himself all the way down into the 10-yard line. Now this time, just holding on to the ball and working his way into the open field and then dragging its tackler with him.
Less than a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Wildcats leading 21-0 over Milford. Harrison taking their time, 10 on the play clock. 2 receivers to the left, tight set to the right, Lawn in the gun. Counter play to Rehage. Rehage has some blocks, cutting it up. A flag is thrown. He still keeps going across the 25 and up to the 23, picking up right around 6 yards.
And this one may be taken backwards now. Anytime there's a flag, most of the time it will be a holding call, and that's what it will be. It will push the offense back 10 yards.
Here Harrison reaching that double-digit mark in penalties.
On the offense, number 51. 10 yards, 1st down.
ball will be set at the Eagle 38-yard line. The clock will run. Harrison will just go to their bench. Milford will as well. We'll wind this thing down to the end of the third quarter, where the Wildcats lead the Eagles 21-0. It's been a domination for Harrison, 3 quarters through and about an hour or so delay in that time frame. It's been all Wildcats. Quarter number 4 coming up next here on ICRC-TV.
Left field.
Welcome to another edition of What's Going Down the Dale.
Welcome. You're listening to the Human Resource.
Yeah, well, does he fight?
Start of the fourth quarter, but next week, 7 o'clock Eastern here on ICRC-TV, Norwood and Marymount will square off in the Week 2 matchup over on the east part of Cincinnati. That Week 2 coverage coming up next Friday, August 28th. Pitch over to Dennis on first down. Chop low across the 35-yard line, gets up to the 33.
Yeah, they got to work quick here, too. If you want to get the ball and you know your defense has been stellar this game, Chase, continue to run the ball. It's been a hard run game to stop. Overall for Wyatt Dennis, he just surpassed the century mark, getting above 100 yards rushing after ending the third quarter with 97.
28 carries for Harrison tonight. They've gained 97 yards on the ground. Second down and 15. Counter pitch. Here's Rehage riding the blocks, bouncing around the left side. Rehage at the 20. Now he's down to the 10. And a lot of aggression up to the 5-yard line. Big time run right there on the counter.
Ooh, and a big time hit, too, by Bryce Melgert. Came in and lowered the shoulder, stood over Rehage just for a second, but not for a long time. But look at this pitch off of the counter. Now breaking away, finding the blocks in open space. You just have to have the speed, too. And then a big hit out of bounds. A little bit of taunting there, but not called. Set yourself up.
Dennis, carry, bulldozes into the end zone for the touchdown. As Wyatt Dennis caps off a good night on that one and gets his second touchdown of the evening.
He's done it through receiving the ball, now this time on the ground, showing him that he can do it all.
Here, Dennis last year had 4 total touchdowns and now has 2 in this opening game. His touchdown reception before the half really changed how the game felt and how it looked. Now the 4th touchdown of the night for the Harrison offense. Snap, hold, kick is up and through the uprights. Harrison now holds a 28-0 lead over Milford.
Wow. Shows you how dominant they are. Last year they relied heavily on the run throughout the season, and that marking Wyatt Dennis's second touchdown. He's had 1 through the air, now 1 on the ground tonight, and it's been a bit of a different story though, Chase. You look at the run game kind of being still there, but not the focal point. It's been through the air tonight for the Wildcats.
Again, last year they lose their star running back in Preston Flick, but in this game, certainly, they've been able to show off some new pieces that didn't get the chance that they had last year. Obviously, looking at the duo of Dennis and Rehage. But, again, their quarterback in Lawn has had a spectacular night through the air. On 16 for 21, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's been a good night for him. technically on the receiving side of things for Rehage with all those pop passes, 5 receptions for 43 yards, and then you add that big play there, this total just keeps climbing. Short kick around the 20-yard line. There's some blocks around the right side if he can get it. Now he's across the 40-yard line, trying to dance around. He gets to the 45, slipped on the turf, and was chopped down there by Izzy Taylor.
A good return, though, by Brody Selhorst. Just the freshman getting some action here in the varsity level of football made a good kind of, you could say, explanation mark here on a game that hasn't gone the way for the Eagles, but a good return. He may get some more time here in the varsity level.
Here, an injured Harrison Wildcat on the field. Not entirely sure who that is, but regardless, hoping all the best for him. A lot of staff making their way out here.
Chase, I want to look at overall. We've talked about the time of possession, but you have to also look at throughout the entire game the first downs. The multiple more first downs a team gets, the more opportunities you're going to have. And coming into the fourth quarter, after the third quarter ender, 17 first downs for Harrison to just the 4 that Milford had.
Again, a big thing like that, and then also you take a look at third down conversions. 7 of 10 tonight for Harrison, just 1 for 6 for Milford. And the turnover battle, something that is always talked about in football, but with how Milford was last year in terms of interceptions here and there, especially as the season pushed along, it has bit them in the Achilles heel on that front. There have been opportunities tonight for the Eagles to make some plays, but Harrison has certainly taken any chance away. Ben Markarian being the one that has just balled out on the defensive side.
Right, and you look at the yards totaled by the teams. Entering the fourth quarter, 379 yards for Harrison to just the 72 yards that Milford had. So that's 5 times more yards that the Harrison Wildcats have over the Eagles.
Here we will take a break here on ICRC-TV. Harrison up 28-0, an injury timeout on the field.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
are back here in Milford, 28-0. Harrison leading over Milford, 10:57 to go in the game. Here that is the kicker, Griffin Musgrove, that's getting helped off the field. Good sign to see him standing up and walking off. Musgrove been a guy that has done the kickoffs. That Weissman Jr., the senior kicker, do the point after attempts. And sharing different duties, but good to see Musgrove up and walking.
It is, especially with this being the first game of the season, too. You don't want any injuries, especially with guys this marking their senior year. They never want to go out.
Replay will resume in just a second as the Milford offense now out on the field. It'll be first down and 10. Bodley gives it off. Just getting a couple yards there as the running back Manuel.
A small pickup, right? See if you can wear down the defense, just get a few yards here and there. And it's really those small plays. They're going to continue to add up. And then you're going to have one big play that's just going to break away and really put yourself up for success here late in the fourth quarter.
Here's that matchup again to watch at the bottom of the screen. Dahmer versus Markarian. Markarian's just won the times that they have thrown his way, 2 interceptions on the evening. Bodley on the drop back. He looks, throws over the middle. It's caught by Barbo. Barbo getting away, almost runs into the ref, and a big time hit. The ball is out. They will say that Barbo is down. He took a big time hit across the 45 of Harrison. Got smacked on that one.
Wow. I'm glad he was called down there. That ball, if it was picked up, it would have been a touchdown the other way for the defense. But a first down, right? This is what you need, too. Not many plays. This marking just the 5th first down all game long.
The sophomore receiver, a welcome to varsity moment for him. 3-man front for the Wildcats. Drop back for Bodley. He's going to take the shot down the field. Here comes Dahmer. It's a little too far and incomplete. They tried to test it against Markarian there, pushed it too far. Dahmer looked like he had a half step or so on him.
Yeah, it looked like that, but, I mean, we've seen some balls underthrown today, and you don't want to do that against Markarian. He's just been able to eat them up every time. You look at this throw here, a lot of time, too, just trying to lead a receiver, but you lead him 2 out to the right, places it out of bounds.
Leo trips to the left and a receiver to the right. Bodley on the drop back, looking over to his left, throws across the middle and too short, incomplete, intended for Barbo. It was there. That ball goes up a little bit more. That could be a catch and run.
We've seen it a few times too, Chase, just trying to air the ball down the field. It's been these short passes, checkdowns, and then allowing the wide receiver, your playmakers, to make the play. Yeah, that's what exactly the Eagles have done. They're saying, all right, see how much open space we can get the defensive coverage to drop back, and then try and open the field and allow them wide receivers to just make and go. Let's see how far they can do it.
3rd down and 10. Drop back for Bodley. He's looking at a 4-man pattern. He throws to no one, incomplete.
Sidearm throw, too. Tried to get around the defense there in the hands that were up in the face, but couldn't place it anywhere near the wide receiver.
Well, at this point, Milford now 1 for 7 on 3rd down. They will go for it for the first time on 4th down. Harrison on the flip side, 0 for 2 on 4th down attempts. Milford with their first crack on the season. Empty look for Bodley, 3 to the left, 2 to the right, including Dahmer. Bodley will throw, it's low, it's incomplete. Harrison will retain possession. Good defense all around for the Wildcats.
Aaron Davis flying in and tipping it out, nowhere near the wide receiver after he got a hand on it. That just marking the first 4th down conversion loss this season for Milford. On the other hand, Harrison Wildcats, they've gone 0 for 2 in their 4th down conversion, so we haven't seen either team be able to convert when it comes down to their very last play on 4th down.
So Harrison will get the ball once again. 9:23 to go here in the game. We'll say if the Wildcats are to score a touchdown, it will turn into a running clock once that hits over 30. The 1st down and 10 for Lawn and the Wildcats offense. Motion from Rehage. Lawn the drop back. Lawn steps up in the pocket. He throws long. He's got Davidson. It's caught. Davidson, 1-2 step into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
And Chase, it's the defensive look too. When you have 2 safeties there and no one able to cover the middle of the field, if you have a guy able to run a post route up and break into the middle of the field exactly like Davidson did, you can easily float a ball in, place it right in front of your wide receiver, and walk in for a score. Look at this here. Perfect time to the pocket. Not much pressure until the final seconds. Breaking in and beating your defender. And then you walk in, you get to that 30-point mark, and now you're a happy team. You've been able to now break it. You've scored a touchdown every quarter now, this marking the 1st quarter where 2 touchdowns have been scored by Harrison tonight.
A career night for Brady Lawn, who is the holder still. Puts it down, kick is up, does his job there. Kick is good, 35-0, Harrison leading over Milford. You can go around and give a bunch of game balls to so many people, but Brady Lawn has done it all through the air, some on the ground, and even hold the football too for the point afters.
I mean, we talked about he was on pace going into halftime to hit 200 yards again and have a complete 400-yard game through the air. You can just see the excitement on his face saying, let's go team, we got this, we can continue to pour on the points. Last year, the home opener for Milford, they lost 35-0. They don't want to repeat it here. They have 8 minutes left. They can go down the field and try and get a first score of the season.
Again, this game looks so different in the first half, and we talked about how the amount of time after halftime, just halftime in general, but the amount of time after halftime, you're looking at it where it's like momentum can change. Momentum just stayed with Harrison, and they turned it up a few notches. Well, they will let Wiseman, the guy that usually does the point afters, he will kick this one. Obviously, the injury for Musgrove being the reason there. So Wiseman will kick this one away. Be a short bouncer to Dahmer, picks up around the 14. Dahmer ahead of steam around the 30. Dahmer trying to cut back across and gets to the 44-yard line. The Eagles have had very good field position the entire night, just again haven't been able to cash in at all.
The Eagles have more yards returning the ball than they do with their offensive plays tonight. And one chase that shows them, wow, you can't able to have a lot of pressure coming in on you. It does show when your playmakers, they can make something happen when there's space right in front of them. And if they have the right blocks and are able to make the right cuts, they definitely can get into the end zone.
A good start right now for 10th-year head coach Derek Rehage, 4-time SWOC champions. That conference is now defunct, looking for his 63rd career win. Here, new quarterback in the game for Milford. That's a pass that's caught by Brazington. Making some moves across and gets a first down. That looks like it's Adam Wareham. Wareham also listed as a safety. And they will have him at quarterback the rest of the night as Bodley's night is over. Wareham loses the snap and loses some yards, around 5 or so.
Luke Robertson will come in and take a sack there, right? Put that in the stat sheet. It may not show up as the biggest play, but I mean, a sack is a sack either way.
Harrison defense has been all around tonight. They have not let anything get by them at all and have blanked the Eagles with just about 6 minutes to go here in the game. It looks like a timeout will be called by the Wildcats. Didn't look like the Eagles were set anyway, but the Wildcats might have bailed them out there too.
Yeah, I thought it could have been a false start there. It looked like the backfield may have flinched for a quick second. And you look at, you bring in a new quarterback, right? There's about 7 minutes for him to see what he can do, see if there needs to be a change. You had an entire offseason. You go with a guy who obviously played last year, start the game. He couldn't get anything going for him, right? You now then go into your depth, see, especially a younger guy, all right, if you can work us down the field, get us down there, right? We need a score. We want to at least show the fans and the students who still stayed here, hey, stay faithful to us. Don't leave. We want to obviously give you guys a show.
And again, as we've looked throughout this game, the defense did its job. They did what they needed to do. It's just also the offense putting them in a situation where turnovers and Harrison scoring off of those turnovers has been the issue in this one tonight. And so many minutes and so many plays on the field have just plagued Milford. And Harrison calls another timeout. We'll say interesting that they called a timeout
after just calling a timeout, right? I believe that they had the wrong personnel out there, having a chance now to just get the right guys out there in the right spots.
We'll play on here, 2nd and 15. Wareham rolls out to the right. He's going to look, he'll throw, and it's caught by Dahmer. Oh, it's dropped. It looked about 99% sure for a catch, but the 1% slipped in there and fell on the ground.
I mean, that was a rocket of a pass, too. That one came out of the arm quick, rolling out, having pressure, and then you have to flip it, almost like a no-look pass. Dahmer. Sometimes guys have it so confident, right when it comes in, their eyes aren't locked with it. And when they look up before they get it, the ball's gone out of their hands.
And he had some space to work with there if he was able to turn around and push down the right sideline. Low snap here on 3rd and 14. Wareham trying to get around. He's taken down by a couple of Wildcats on that one. Look at that there. That's Izzy Taylor as well as number 79, Luke Robertson.
Luke Robertson, man, he had his own sack. Now he gets half a sack. He's just continuing to add more. Some celebrations, too. The replay here, the low snap, and then you cause some frustration having to roll out. Your O-line's not blocking for you, and you get taken down from both sides. That's something for a quarterback that you want to have.
Milford's going to roll their punt team out once again. As has just not been a good night overall for the offense. As they're just middling just around 100 total yards of offense and turned into an opportunity, but has not gone their way tonight. Here's the snap. The kick almost blocked once again. Witt will get away from this one. It'll bounce over to one of the assistant coaches for Harrison around 35.
I mean, a little fair catch sign, too, saying, hey, I want to try and get in this game.
Hey, why not?
All right. I mean, with all these changes that are happening in the NCAA, you know, maybe come back to high school and finish it out.
Eligibility, man. It's a myth at this point.
Actually, the court ruling just happened here in the NCAA.
Yeah.
All right. Cincinnati lost one of their players. Xavier also lost one of their players. I saw that today. Some other teams are losing players who are in the 2022 class.
There are also some NFL players that are NFL teams that are losing their players to go back to college.
Do you have any eligibility left?
If I look back and probably did the numbers, I would probably have a little bit of eligibility left, but
I believe it.
Not exhausting it. There's the run play for a couple of yards. That's also a new quarterback into the game for the Wildcats. That's Owen Conley who's in as the new unit steps in for the Wildcats as we're under 4 minutes to go.
And when you're up this much, you get the younger guys the experience, right, Chase? And get to see what they can do. If they produce, man, that's a good story to tell, right? I came in for the first game of the season. I threw a touchdown as a backup quarterback.
Well, we'll see how much they unlock this offense for Conley as he's in the gun. Gives it off to Fetty. Fetty able to get a couple of yards and get across the 40. You saw Fetty earlier on in the game. He had a carry in the first quarter, but haven't seen him yet until this time here. Back-to-back runs for him. Bring up 3rd down and 5. Split receiver set, a running back, that's Fetty, over to the right. Drop back for Conley, throws in the flat. It's too high and behind, incomplete. That pass intended for Cooper Flick.
It was a dangerous pass, too. You had one defender in coverage, Flick then behind him, and then one right behind Flick. Could have been a double whammy there if that ball was completed.
You know, said the name Flick. We heard that one last year in the last couple years for Harrison. Preston Flick being able to be the guy to have 1,700 all-purpose yards last year and 15 touchdowns. There's Preston out there in the game. 4th and 5, 2 minutes to go. And it looks like a new set of downs could come from this one.
That's Ethan McCann. A little jumpy there. Sometimes you got to, when you play hopscotch, you got to roll it before you can jump in, right? You wanted an early start.
Didn't even get a chance for the roll to stop.
Right, no.
Man, we're going old school on the games right now. I like it, Mr. Casey.
Thank you. I mean, you've been calling yourself Unc all day, so I gotta.
Sometimes you light my fire, so it's
appreciate
crazy.
that.
Wow. Heard that song too many times. Conley's just going to knee this one down in the shotgun as we're just under a minute and a half. We'll have to do this probably another 2 plays. Let the clock roll down. We saw Harrison go under center 2 or 3 plays tonight. They're a team that's primarily out of the shotgun. They will run this ball around the right side, cutting across and getting to the original line of scrimmage. That was Chaz Hickson. Gets up to the 45. They'll have about 1 more play. There's a 4-second differential on the game clock and the play clock, so.
Chase, you know why they did that?
Why?
They lost 3 yards on the last play, and they wanted to gain 3 yards. They don't want any negative plays.
And back to square one on this one here.
Right? Sets you back up. You lose a few yards after the kneel, and you want to gain them back. You may as well try and hand it off and pick up a few more yards.
Oh, there's the 3rd time they've gone under center tonight, and it's for a kneel down. A loss of 1, but I don't think they care. They won 35-0 over Milford. That's the final for our Week 1 presentation here on ICRC-TV. Harrison over top of Milford, 35-0. A lot of stars in this one. Brady Long, the quarterback, who just aired it all over the place tonight. Big-time performance for him.
Chase, oh, yeah. I mean, over 350 yards on the air and on the ground, multiple touchdowns, but it goes to show the first half, we thought this game was going to be really close. Milford's defense was stellar. Something that you haven't seen much in the last few seasons, but they showed out tonight. They showed, hey, we can compete against some of these better teams in the state. And then I believe it was the long delayed. You have an hour and 20 minutes to sit down, rest, regain some composure before you come back in. And for the Wildcats, that's what they needed. Finishing
again with 477 yards total for the offense. Take a look at Wyatt Dennis, 18 for 106 and a touchdown for him, and 2 for 55 in the air and a touchdown. Long, 18 for 23, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns. Harrison, a nearly perfect night for them to open up the season here on ICRC-TV. Coverage all the way through the season. The Wildcats take down the Eagles 35-0. Week 1 presentation. Casey Stevens, Chase Shots, the great people behind the scenes at ICRC-TV saying so long from Milford. Have a great rest of your night.